Hey, what's going on YouTube? So in this video we are going to continue our Babylon sort of discussion, and we are starting off on verse 9 of chapter 18. And it says, "When the kings of the earth who committed adultery with her and shared her luxury see the smoke of her burning, they will weep and mourn over her. Terrified at her torment, they will stand far off and cry, 'Woe, woe to you, great city, you mighty city of Babylon! In 1 hour your doom has come.'" What a statement. If you were to take that as America, within 1 hour, America's basically been wiped out. The merchants of the earth, another reason why I think it's America. I mean, it's talking about sailors. The merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her because no one buys their cargoes anymore. Cargoes of gold, silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, and scarlet cloth, every sort of citron wood, and articles of every kind made of ivory, costly wood, bronze, iron, and marble, cargoes of cinnamon and spice, of incense, was a myrrh and frankincense, of wine and olive oil, of fine flour and wheat, cattle and sheep, horses and carriages, and human beings sold as slaves. Could you say that most of the sex traffic comes through America? Sex slaves? What I find sort of interesting is it says horses and carriages. Now, if John is seeing this, he would say, okay, let's say he saw a car. He probably wouldn't know what to call it. So, he would say horses and carriages, which is, sort of interesting to think about. Did he see a car? Is he saying this as two separate things? He's like, oh yeah, they sell horses and carriages. Not horses and carriages as one entity, but two separate entities. I don't know. But the fact that America is basically a part of all of this, we buy all of these things. We import, export these things, whether it be underground, above ground, or, whatever. We do import, export these things. So, verse 14, "They will say, 'The fruit you longed for is gone from you. All your luxury and splendor have vanished, never to be recovered.' The merchants who sold these things and gained their wealth from her will stand far off, terrified at her torment. They will weep and mourn and cry out, 'Woe, woe to you, great city, dressed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and glittering with gold, precious stones and pearls. In 1 hour such great wealth has been brought to ruin. Every sea captain and all who travel by ship, the sailors and all who earn their living from the sea, will stand far off. When they see the smoke of her burning, they will exclaim, 'Was there ever a city like this great city?' They will throw dust on their heads, and with weeping and mourning cry out, 'Woe, woe to you, great city, where all who had ships on the sea became rich through her wealth. In 1 hour she has brought has been brought to ruin. Rejoice over her, you heavens. Rejoice, you people of God. Rejoice, apostles and prophets, for God has judged her with the judgment she imposed on you. Right now in America, it is becoming harder and harder and harder to be a Christian. People hate you. You know, I am a white man who is a Christian, and I am straight, and I believe every person on this planet should be allowed to carry a gun. With that sentence alone, I guarantee you the world will hate me. The world will hate me. They will pass judgment because I am white. They will pass judgment because I am a male. They will pass judgment because I am a Christian, especially because I'm a Christian. And they will pass judgment because I'm straight and I don't believe in gay marriage and I think it is wrong. And I think it is a abomination in the eyes of God. And it is an abomination in the eyes of God. And because I believe people should be able to defend themselves, people will pass judgment and they will hate me for these things. This is America. This is the America that I think Revelation is talking about. I think America is Babylon. Now, you know, people could argue it's the Vatican, and, you know, okay, but you can still be a Christian in the Vatican. You know what I mean? People aren't necessarily going to, and I see this very loosely, but people aren't going to flip out if you say I'm a Christian and you're a part of the Vatican. People aren't going to lose, you know, any sort of sleep over it. But if you were to say it in America, you were to say it at, you know, an alien convention, oh hey everyone, I'm a Christian and this, that, and the other thing, people basically roll their eyes. They won't listen. They're immediately turned off. You know, the church for the most part in this country is asleep. I mean, come on. There is some weird stuff going on in America right now, and I can't see how anyone says that Babylon is not America. Am I telling you to believe it's America? Well, no, and yes at the same time. Look at it for yourself. I don't know what Babylon is. I don't know if it's America or not. But when I read this, I see America, or at least the ideals and the spirit of America in this. That's what I see. Then it makes sense. You know, when you go back and you see, okay, you know, Satan's basically been at every sort of meeting where a country is formed. He's always had a seat in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it be someone who's a demon worshiper or a devil worshiper or a what do you call them? The Masons, a Freemason, you know, whether it be the Illuminati. He's always had a piece of the pie. And then the creation of America makes sense, where he could create a nation where most Americans will be. That way he can bring the ultimate destruction of a lot of them at one time. And so it's sort of this sick, weird thing where we have this chance to go one way or go the other, and since our creation we've gone sort of on the deep end. We've gone into the negatives. So I will read up to chapter 19, and I think we'll continue chapter 19 in the next video. It goes on to say, then a mighty angel picked up a boulder the size of a large millstone and threw it into the sea and said, with such violence the great city of Babylon will be thrown down. Now that's kind of crazy. That sounds like a nuclear explosion to me. That sounds like a meteor. I don't know. The music of harpists and musicians, pipers, and trumpeters will never be heard in you again. That's America. A lot of music comes from America. The sound of a millstone will never be heard in you again. I mean, come on. We import, export a lot of stuff. We make a lot of things. The light of a lamp will never shine in you again. Is that electricity? Is that, what is it? What is it? The voice of bridegroom and bride will never be heard in you again. Is that sort of a double meaning where, nobody will ever get married in Babylon again because it's basically destroyed? Are the Christians dead? Are the Christians out of this place? Has the gay agenda moved so far ahead that it's gotten out of hand? Your merchants were the world's important people. By your magic spell, all the nations were led astray. In her was found the blood of prophets and of God's holy people, and all who have been slaughtered on the earth. America, whether you like it or not, is a war country. We are a war country. And when you look at the fact that we basically started ISIS, we basically started the Arab Spring in a way, we started a lot of these things, it makes sense, or it starts to make sense that we have been the cause for so many wars. We've been the cause for people to basically get killed. And right now we're seeing the forming of basically the world, or rather the nation of America, become anti-Christian. And it's getting worse and worse. At some point, they are going to want to kill Christians. And you know what? I am so sick of this world. I am so sick of being here. I'm sick of hearing the feminists. I'm sick of hearing the anti-gun freaks. I'm sick of hearing the atheists. I'm sick of hearing the scientists. I'm sick of hearing the other religions. I'm sick of having to wake up and work every day. I'm sick of having to eat. I'm sick of having to live this life as, somebody I'm not supposed to be. I'm sick of a lot of these things. I'm sick of this world. And, I can, with absolute certainty say I am ready to get out of here. I am ready to go home, because this is not my home, and this world sucks. And, it's been a long time. I've had a pretty good life. I think I've lived my life to the fullest. And I'm only 23 years old. I mean, there is not much else I can accomplish. What else can I do in this fallen world? Except talk about God. Except, do what I'm doing now. And I do this because I love doing this. I love talking about Bible things. I love getting into deep discussions. But I'm sick of this world. I'm ready to go home.